as Bookmobile coordinator, what I'd be doing is building the service for the community, making changes in the service, looking to institute new changes in the service, and always improve the service. So the Bookmobile itself and the services that we offer.
Awesome. So you've been with the library for quite a few years. Would you like to tell us how you got started working with the library and kind of the road that has brought you here to your position now?
Sure. In 1982, I was actually running school buses and driving a school bus, and I was in between jobs. I just started a new job driving school bus, and we thought this would be a good part-time job because I just started a family. And so I'd had my daughter in August of 1981, and I was sitting in a coffee room at the bus barns, and there was a notice on the table for Bookmobile driver needed. And I thought, wow, books, driving? This is right up my alley. This is perfect. And so I applied. So I started out as a spare driver. I was actually driving spare school bus, spare Bookmobile, and spare transit at the time. And now, throughout the years, that's dropped down to where I'm running the Bookmobile service full-time. And I think the first bus had a lot to do with how we developed the third bus. The first bus was built in 1981, right? And it was the baby, I can almost say, of Heather Bell Dowling, so the first director of the library. Very proud of our library because only 5 years after it opened its doors in 1977, it put a Bookmobile on the road for rural residents so that they were mandated to serve the county, but they could have just said to county residents, come to us. Right. And they didn't. They sent the service out to them. And in fact, it was the first rural service to go out, aside from cleaning roads. Right. But it was the first service to actually go into the county to deliver service. So that was pretty impressive. It was actually built by county carpenters. It was planned by Heather Bell Dowling and Pat Babb, who was at the time the head of circulation services. And I'm sure that when we interview Pat Babb, there will be some funny stories there. But it was very well designed. It had 2 doors, and it was simply a school bus, an empty school bus. So when gentlemen came in, they had to duck their head because it was very low. And even the shorter of the gentlemen would sometimes have problems with the bus. So pretty funny. It ran on propane, and it was a great little bus, never gave us any trouble, except the heaters. Mm-hmm. And the heaters needed continually, almost daily, you had to pull out the points and sand them with a piece of sandpaper and put them back in order to make the heaters run. So it was, but it was a great little bus. I loved it, and it, like I say, ran for us for 10 years. I started with the service in 1982, so it started in 82, and I wasn't there right at the beginning. Right. It was Helen that had developed the stops and developed the schedule the way it stood. It was a bi-weekly service at the time, and it was a couple of years later that I took over running the service. So, yeah.